So we have returned to discuss our overall thoughts on Deadhouse Gates. And I feel like we should start with the first-time reader's thoughts, and then I will either expand or tell you my thoughts after.
Okay.
So where would you like to start on our 5 subjects?
Which are, for a reminder to the viewers.
Well, go ahead.
Theme, setting, character, plot, overall.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 to 10 rating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start with theme. Themes are aplenty.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very depressing themes. Depression is a theme. Death, transformation, friendship.
Futility.
What else? I'm sure
Could
there's...
say rebirth.
Well, wouldn't that be like transformation?
Yeah.
I'm sure we're not capturing them all, but good themes. They're good themes, but
it makes it kind of a harder read.
Right, because a lot of it is not happy.
A lot of it?
A lot of it.
Don't you mean most of it?
That's what I actually mean. Yes, you are correct. But as far as covering these themes and putting these themes into play, very well done, Sir Erikson. I know he's not actually a sir, but I would say I'm going to give it 8 for themes just because it's so dark all the time, which made it difficult for me to want to continue because I am a naturally depressed person. And so, yeah, 8 on theme for me.
I would say 9 for theme. He definitely sticks with the themes and doesn't shy away from humanity's darkness.
Yeah. And there's so much of that happening in, like, our real world. So that's kind of why I'm like, oh, here we go. My little escapism isn't even much more fun. Anyways, so that's theme. Setting, oh god. Setting is all over the place. Not really. A lot of this took place in... Oh, we're supposed to be trying not to give spoilers.
Well, you could just say the 7 cities.
Okay, the 7 cities. Does that include the desert?
Mm-hmm.
Raraku.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's pretty much in this...
It's a part of that area.
One place, but...
Mainly.
Multiple places within the one place.
And then a few outliers.
Right. Anyways, settings, they're described. I mean... they're described, yeah.
Can't say you couldn't picture it.
But I pictured a lot of desert most of the time. So I don't know that you know, there's a lot of description that goes into a desert.
Well, when you run across, like, the ruins and stuff, there was more going on.
Yeah.
And then the occasional, like, river and all that stuff.
Yeah. There is one section in here.
Is it a warren?
Is it a warren? I don't think it's a warren. It's a forested area.
Okay.
And there is a certain insect that, like, is very prominent. Do you know what I'm talking about without me having to reveal, or do I need to tell you and then we can cut this out?
Just go ahead.
Well, anyways, if you've read it, but you have, so you should know what I'm talking about.
Unless it's a part that didn't stick out to me.
Well, it really did to me. Like, it was like one of the most peaceful moments when it was being described that I have had in this whole book. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a nice place to be. Because it's like this forested area, and there's this insect that is very prominent, and it's flying all over the place, and it would rhyme with flutterfly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyways, I did enjoy that part. That was very good description, and it was a nice break from all the desert that I was imagining. Setting, 6. Because it was just all desert. In my head, it was all desert. Even when we get to the ruins, we're still in the desert. So I don't feel like there was much change in scenery. But then again, maybe I just was not reading properly.
Well, everyone reads different. It's not really proper or improper.
Yeah, and I know you're thinking, how can it be all desert, but then you're talking about a forest. It happened, my friend. It happened.
And what about the ship? And what about that one? And what about that one?
We were, like I've said, we were with one character specifically, and this one character specifically was prominently in the desert. So there you go.
Setting for me, probably an 8. Everything flowed for me. Pictured everything perfectly fine. Kept me invested first time and second time.
I think you're also a setting person.
I do love world building, which is part of setting.
Right. I'm not so much, I don't think. Anyways, I think I'm more of our next category.
Well, go for it.
Character.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this. I'm just gonna give my rating right now. I'm gonna give it a 10 because earlier in the book, I didn't particularly care for a certain character and their storyline. By the end of the book,
You cared.
I cared quite a bit about this character and their storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also earlier in the book, though, when I wasn't caring about this particular character, I was feeling things about other characters.
Mm-hmm.
And rooting for these ones and hoping this one fell off a cliff and, whatever. So, the character building and, great stuff. Good. 10.
Characters, I would definitely say, are one of his strong suits. You might get like a name here and there confused, but usually every character is very distinct. So I'd give that a solid 9 for sure. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, plot.
Which one?
Where do we begin? I mean, I don't know how to rate plot because it's just continuing, and then new things are being thrown in at like the last minute. I don't know. I mean, what was in here, if I limit it to just this book, which is what I'm supposed to be doing, I guess. But it's hard for me not to think about the previous book, Well, like I said, I didn't really care for a lot of the storyline of the one person. And, it was a slog getting through some of this stuff. 6. Just because I got through it, and I ended up, one of the particular storylines I got invested in.
You might be more of a Memories of Ice girl.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I think part of my problem, too, is with plot is, it's like...
His isn't...
It's not...
There's plenty of plot.
There is! But go with your foot.
You have no idea where it's going.
Exactly. And I know that I have said I've given up on the foreshadowing. And in giving up on the foreshadowing, this was definitely a much nicer read than Gardens of the Moon. With me trying not to. But it's not a habit that has died easily. So I still find myself trying to be like, and... But I've gotten better. So I did enjoy this book more than Gardens of the Moon. Also, because I think I'm more comfortable. This is probably getting into overall. I'm sorry. I've just totally skipped your plot part, but let me finish my thinking. I'm more comfortable with this one, I think, too, because I kind of understand his writing style now and the way he works. But at the same time, I don't want to get too comfortable and be all like, I get it, because then he'll throw something in and it'll just go all kinds of cattywampus, and I'll be right back at my pre-Gardens of the Moon mentality. So anyways, sorry, I just took my overall. So you want me to just give my overall while I'm here?
Sure.
Enjoy. I don't remember what I gave Gardens of the Moon, but for this one, I'm going to say I will give it an 8. Now, you never gave your plot, because I just totally went on a tangent there.
So plot for me actually is very strong, because I'm looking at it as a cog in the machine that is the whole story. And I can see the impact it had throughout the following books. So I'm going to give the plot I'm going to lean towards 10 on plot of what it means to the rest of the series. If you've finished it or you're rereading it, you probably know what I mean about the impact part. And then overall, I still love this book. It's probably one of my favorite books of all time. I'm gonna go with 9. Just because, like, it's the one that sold me on the series when I finished it. But by the end, there was a couple of books that definitely surpassed it in the series for me. So I can't say it's like that perfect, like boom, but it's powerful.
Well, technically nothing's perfect.
Well, no.
Yeah, so. And since I've only read 2 of them, if I had to pick between the 2, this one's my favorite, So. But anyways, alrighty, so that's it. Mm-hmm. Our overall thoughts on Book 2 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen series, Deadhouse Gates. Yeah, let us know if you've read it, completed it, reread it, whatever it is you're doing with it. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever. Let us know below, and we'll see you next time.
See you.